Hello, and welcome to Philibon's Computer Networking Lab. You're watching the instructional video called Distributed File System Configuration. We are now on the server DC1. We want to create a distributed file system. The first thing we need to do is to create folder shares. In the root directory, I created a folder called Shares on DC1. And inside of that folder, I created the folders that we will be sharing called Department, Software, and Users. As you can see, in each folder, I have put additional folders. I have these extra folders so in the next coming video, I can verify whether or not the folders replicate with DC2. I need to configure the share folders for sharing. In other words, I'm going to share the department, software, and users folders so it can be seen on the network by other computers. If you're not familiar with folder sharing, I went over this concept in a previous video. I am setting the folders so that the everyone group has read permissions. Okay, let's take a look at how the folder share look. By typing in 2 backslashes followed by the server name. Okay, let's set up the distributed file system. I'll open up the server manager so we can add this role. I'll click on the Manage button and choose Add Roles and Features, and the wizard appears. We've been through this wizard before, and I've already commented that we're installing it on the local server. I'll open up the File Server checkbox to reveal both the DNS namespace and the DNS replication services. We need both of these in order to get it to run correctly. And now we're going to install it. Great, now it's installed. Okay, let's open up the Distributed File System tool. We'll access it through the Administrative Tools. Notice when the tool is open, we have 2 main links. One is called the namespace and the other one replication. We'll deal with replication in the next video. Let's create a new namespace. I'm going to choose this server, DC1. And I'm simply going to call this Share. Let's take a look at the properties. I'm just going to set it up so that everyone has the read permissions. I'm going to be using Active Directory as part of my distributed file system, so I will choose the first choice. The second choice is if you only have a standalone server. Okay, it looks like everything is straight. I am ready to finalize the configuration. Great. Okay, now let's configure the namespace itself. I'm going to add a new folder, and I'll connect it to one of the shares that I created earlier. I'll start with the department share. Okay, one down, two to go. Here we can see some information about the department share. Now I'll create a new folder for the user share. Okay, two down. Now let me create a new folder connection to the software share. There, now we have our shares in place, connected to the namespace. Let's take a look at the information about the philibrown.local share. Okay, let's try accessing our newly created namespace. Okay, we can see our 3 folder shares, and we can also see the folders inside of the folder shares. It looks like everything has worked out fine. Usually when we create folder shares, we want to be able to control who can look at what information. For that reason, many administrators will often set the permissions of who has read access and who has read-write access to individual folders. I have already pre-created some groups in Active Directory ahead of time. For the command folder, I'll use a security group that I created called SG Command. And likewise, I will add the SG Engineering group to the engineering folder. And the SG Science group to the Science folder. Only members of those groups plus the default groups will be allowed to access these folders. And now I'm going to the user share and apply the James Kirk account directly to the James Kirk folder share. In this video, we saw how to create a namespace in order to access shared folders. In the next video, we will be looking at the subject of replication of these shared folders in order to provide fault tolerance and high availability to our users. I hope this video has been informative, and I thank you for viewing.